Hello everyone, welcome back to another Train Sim World 6 video. Today we are back on the Koln to Aachen Remastered route in Germany, where we will be taking this ICE 3M high-speed express from Koln to Aachen. Yeah, I'm just going to say that calling it a remaster, but it was more of a soft lighting upgrade with no bug fixes, was, yeah, definitely a decision. Anyway, this is... I believe the service is ICE 314 Frankfurt am Main Hauptbahnhof to Brussels, I believe, in Belgium. So yeah, let's get going. I have most timetable layers active, so you will see a lot of stuff. I believe the... yeah. Train brake is off. Let's also get the... Let's... Oh, you're not... Open the doors, please. Thank you very much. It's been a bit since I've driven one of these, so I'm just trying to remember where everything is. Oh yes, AFB. So if we go... which? Shelton? Yeah. They've done a bit of changing to how the screens work for this one. Diesel Freigabe. Yeah. So... oh, whoops, wrong button. I meant to hit that one. There we go. There goes a Koln S-Bahn service. We are in the revamped timetable, of course, because that one actually works. Wait a minute. So, Fola's World, the guy who did the remaster, added GSMR textures to the Talent 2, but did not add them to the ICE 3M. Very odd. Anyway, we've got a couple of Talent 2s, 101, ooh, and a nice one over there. We've got a 146 RE1 service coming in with some Dostos on the back. Also, I should mention we're not only stopping at Aachen Hauptbahnhof today, and we've got two sections of the route. We'll be going up to 250 kilometers an hour up to Düren, and then we'll go onto the slower line and start wiggling around a bit. We'll be under LZB from the section up to Düren, and then we'll be under normal PZB monitoring for the rest of the way. So, let's get that shut. Yeah. As you can see, we are also using live weather, so there's a bit of snow on the ground, which is nice. Right. Just gradually increase the power. Oh, seems to be managing it well. Hit that PZB release. Nice. Okay, so it seems to be managing it so we don't get wheel slip. Also, an annoying bug that has been introduced with the remaster is this very annoying flickering, windshield flickering. And that hasn't been patched yet. I hope it will, but it hasn't yet, so we'll see what happens with that. Oh, motor sound's doing some weird stuff. There's Koln Cathedral back there. It does have some decent night lighting, but the night lighting, especially at stations, is very odd. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. There's an MRC 185 waiting there. It's just static. You can't drive that. Expect frame rate drops as I'm expecting to see the frame rate drop as we get closer to Koln Depot, because there is a lot of static stock in there. I really do mean that. There is a lot of stuff in there. Alright, up to 60. No, just let us go up to 70, but there's almost immediately a drop down to 60, so yeah. Yeah. Oh, we're racing a Talent 2 out of here. Nice. Wonder where he's going. Are you heading... Can't read the passenger information screens. RE7 service. Oh yeah, you're not heading on. If you were an RE9, you'd be coming down the same line as I am. So yeah, you're heading to Krefeld Hauptbahnhof. There's, as you can see, there's Koln Depot there. Lots of stock there hanging around. BR642 there, BR423? Yeah, 423 there. Oh, there goes the Talent 2. I forgot to increase the speed in time, so we are getting slightly overtaken. I think the thing I like best about Koln to Aachen is the nuts timetable. It is insane how many services there are in this revamped timetable. Okay, there's some weird stuff going on with the snow textures. Oh, we're in LZB, so I could just put the AFB to maximum and forget about it. But yeah, it looks like we have ground snow, but a lot of the ground snow seems to be just missing. What on earth is going on here? Hang on. They're, like... I did turn on PZB. Don't lie to me. PZB. PZB isolation switch on. Okay, I swear this game, man. Like, why? Why are you doing this to me? Okay, we do have 63 kilometers to Aachen Hauptbahnhof. This route is pretty short, but you do have to remember this was released in 2020, where a route anything longer than like 50 kilometers long was considered to be quite long. Like, now we've got over several routes that are over 100 miles long. And this route is honestly considered short, but it's actually one of the longest routes in the game at the time. I can't believe this route was the core route for the Train Sim World, what was it, 2? Oh my goodness, what on earth is happening with those ground textures? It's like they're black. What in the world? I've never seen that before. It's as if the remaster seems to have seriously borked the snow textures on the ground. What in the world? Alright, we're already doing 140. We will be clear up to 250 in a minute. All we have to do is clear Sifa from now on, because yeah, and we won't have to worry about an ICE 3M being in front of us, because this line actually this service only runs once every 2 hours in each direction, because yeah, it's a 2-hourly service. Most of I believe the service is now run primarily by ICE 3 Neos. But please do correct me on there if I'm wrong. Speaking of which, we don't really have any of the modern ICEs in the game, like the ICE, what is it? The ICE 4, the ICE 3 Neo. The most modern variant of the ICE we have is the ICE 3, which is not exactly new. This thing was made during what, the early 2000s, I think. The variant of the ICE variant, sorry, that I still want to see, and would be a great add-on for the old Dresden-Chemnitz route, would be the ICE TD, the only diesel one they ever made. The only diesel one that Deutsche Bahn never got. Very interesting, like, it's a high-speed train, but it's diesel-powered. In Germany, I know in Britain they do it all the time, but in Germany that is a serious rarity. That's 210 kilometers an hour already. Ooh. Double-headed tanker train there. Very nice. This train can shift. My goodness. I forgot how speedy this train was. That's already 225 kilometers an hour, absolutely streaking past the S-Bahn stuff. Yeah. So, yeah, I wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair calling this, like, quotes remaster. I know it was marketed as a remaster, but calling this a remaster is honestly, it's pushing the boundaries of a remaster quite a bit. The Great Western Express remaster added a couple of features that we had never seen before in the game, like rail singing, and also brought all the stock up to TSW6 standards with train faults, proper windshield rain effects, and guard mode support. And yet this quotes remaster seems to have been just on Koln Aachen seems to have just brought the stock up to modern standards, broken the snow textures, and failed to fix bugs that have been present since the launch of this route. Like, I'm sorry for the guy who developed it goes by Fola's World, and I must say, like, honestly, in some ways, this route has been made worse. Like, just look at this weird black stuff that's supposed to be snow textures. Like, what? And I know a lot of people will be leaping down into the comment section going, oh, it's a free update, you can't criticize it. Because it's free. We would be, just be glad it isn't payware, but honestly, I'm staggered that this add-on went out in the state, especially since a lot of the foliage, as you can see by the very visible pop-in of loading of grass assets, is still the old foliage. And yeah, mind you, I really do enjoy the Koln Aachen route, but my goodness, has the remaster put it in a tough spot. I mean, overtaking the S-Bahn train, just about to pull into Horm. There's another one pulling out there. Remember, this isn't peak time, viewers. Absolutely streaking along. Yeah, I'm just astounded that the quotes remaster update was allowed to go out in this state. Like, oh my word. Like, what were, like, how could any developer allow this route to go out in this state? And Fola's World, on top of doing this remaster, is also making a route from Duisburg to Mönchengladbach, I think the route is. And that route, and I'm probably not gonna get it now because Fola's World has just completely dropped the ball on this one, I have to admit. Though, I must admit, streaking along at 250 kilometers an hour is quite satisfying. Like, what in this... Like, how can you even... How did Dovetail even let the route go out in this state? Like, Dovetail's actually been having trouble with releasing add-ons that aren't up to modern standards or even up to par or quality-wise. I'm looking at you, Santa Fe on Cajon Pass gameplay pack, and I think this just proves yet again that Dovetail doesn't know what the words quality and control are. Like, third parties can basically just release anything and Dovetail will let them release it even if they're in a completely borked state like this. And I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm going on a rant, and I'm sorry, and I feel absolutely terrible at bashing a developer who's done this for free, but this is totally unacceptable. This is beyond the pale. There's another S-Bahn. Yeah. I must say, like, having... yeah, there we go. Let's turn down the depth of field a tad. There we go. Take that. Oh, never mind. I'll actually turn it up a bit so we could actually get this in focus. There we go. Right. Yeah, I just feel absolutely awful having to, like, criticize something like this, but this is just like a big no-no. Like, that's it. Like, all of these, like, the ballast is fine, I'll say that, but like all of these, like, side bits, like in between the tracks and like off the track, there's no off the track that way, there's no snow textures on the ground whatsoever, and then the bits next to the track are just completely broken. I just don't get it, man. Like, why does this even happen? Like, yeah, I've already, okay, I'm going to stop ranting. I've said my piece. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Alright. We are getting ready to slow down as we come in toward Duren. I know, the high-speed section on this line is over with really quickly if you're going at 250. We'll just let the LZB system take the train down towards 200. We do have a 160 limit just after Duren. That's, yeah, after Duren we get onto the slow line. And then, yeah, we'll stop seeing S-Bahn services as well because those stop at Duren. Yeah, like, look at all that really visible texture popping. That's not normal. I'm just saying that that's not normal at all. I think I will start yeah, let's start bringing the AFB back, because we will come out of the LZB zone soon, and I'll need to put the AFB on. Need to put the AFB back on manually or something. Yeah. Also, notice the lack of dynamic suspension. Like, why wasn't the stock included with design brought up to modern standards with train faults, dynamic suspension, guard mode? It just doesn't make any sense. It's like different developers have different standards when it comes to these things. Oh, and we're about to overtake yet another S-Bahn code service, and there's another ICE 3. That's the only one for the next 2 hours. Right, 160. No. Stop it. Right, here's Duran. Slow down, please. Yeah, I know I'm controlling the speed, even though it's a, even though we're in LZB, but I just want to make sure because, yep, there we go. We are coming out of LZB monitoring now, so we're going to have to start controlling the speed manually by ourselves. We also have to acknowledge our PZB ourselves. Oh, here's the famous triangle bridge. Also, another thing I forgot to mention is, despite me having Koln Aachen for a while now, I do not have the BR187 add-on by Skyhook Games, because that is possibly the worst quality train that has ever been put in this game. Like, most of the switches don't have sound. It sounds like a vacuum cleaner. It has zero function, like panel functionality. It's just completely broken to this day. Yeah, we're now. Oh, why do we not have power? So maybe I have to take the throttle off. Try putting that back on. Gonna turn the power on. You're not? Okay, that's interesting. We have to switch the. Alright, AFB, please. So if I do it via that screen, take you off, and then turn you back on, and then. Oh. No. Okay. Alright, and now put the power back on. Yes, okay, so I forgot to do that earlier. Because, yeah, that's what you have to turn the AFB off when you go out of an LZB monitoring zone. You have 20 minutes to do 24 kilometers, and, yeah, this is the bit where it gets pretty slow. Yeah. I must say it's nice I managed to time the live weather so we're in snow, but it's not nice that there's no, besides the bit on the ballast, there's no snow anywhere while the trees have snow textures on them. It's so weird. Like, it looks completely awful, and yet how is this allowed to go out in this state? I should probably stop myself there. I've said my piece already about this, and I'm not gonna torment you for the rest of the trip with my thoughts about this. And just look at that. That's completely empty. No extra foliage was added whatsoever, from what I can tell. It just looks awful. Absolutely awful. Like, and all the foliage that's here is the old assets from the original route that haven't been updated to compensate for the new lighting engine. It's ludicrous. Ludicrous. Anyway, at least we're trucking along quite nicely at 160. Oh my gosh, the vegetation asset pop in is just so distracting. Just watching the vegetation load in like a few feet in front of the train. Ugh. $20 kilometers to go, but do remember that is in a straight line. We do have a bit of winding to do. Is this? I think this is Langerwehr. Hauptbahnhof we just went through. And there's also snow textures in tunnels, where there would be no snow on the ground in real life. very interesting. How's frame rate? Basically, that is probably one of the only positive aspects of this remaster. Despite the pretty heavy timetable, it's running pretty smoothly on my machine, which is very nice. Especially since my machine is not the most powerful piece of machinery in the world. There's a freight train. There's a 120 limit coming up. Honestly, the Ice 3M does feel a bit like a caged animal on this line. It's just so quick that it hoovers up the high speed section and it just sits at just over 100 kilometers an hour, chafing. If you want a route where you can take the Ice 3 up to a decent velocity, Castle Würzburg is definitely a route for you. Because yeah, you can take that up to 250 and just leave it there for the whole trip. Basically, with like only one intermediate stop, I should say, while you cover the 100 kilometers or so, the 100 miles or so, sorry, of the entire route. Bringing it down to 120. There's the warning sign. This unit feels like an absolute walk in the park compared to the expert stuff by Train Sim Germany that they've done. Speaking of which, there is a layer for the Expert 101. If you have the original Dovetail Games 101, you can actually... The Expert 101 can play those 4 services. And yeah, that's a pretty fun service to do, I must admit. Is this Eschweiler? Yeah, this is Eschweiler Hauptbahnhof. This feels so slow. We're going under half the speed that we were going at before. Another thing that I'm noticing is there's no snow effects besides the train. Oh, and there's some very weird light baking in the tunnels too. There's the post Train Sim World 3, all the routes have had like snow particle effects coming off the train, and yet they're nowhere to be seen here. Yet they were present previously because it got backdated to all previous routes, but yeah, what? The implementation of features on this route is just so weirdly done. Yeah, it's down to 110 as we come into Stolberg here. If you have Rursig Nord and the DB Red BR363, you can actually do some shunting in these yards over here. But, oh, light locomotive, interesting. You can't really do that, yeah, unless you have that, of course. And I don't think I'll ever pick up Rursig Nord. Never goes on a sale large enough for me to pick that up. It just seems like yet another boring German electrified line, which they've done which Dovetail Games has done 1 million times over. Like most recently, Stuttgart to Heilbronn, Bremen, Oldenburg, Hamburg, Lübeck. I could go on. Koln, Aachen for me, I know it's another boring German electrified route, but the main appeal for this is the TOD 4 lighting, which is the new, quotes, new lighting engine, and the pretty decent timetable. Like, lots of service for, like, the main appeal of the timetable on this route is service variety. There's a lot of different stuff you can do. High-speed stuff at the ICE-3, regional services with Talent 2 and the BR-146, S-Bahn services with the BR-423, freight services with the BR-185, and there's even a rail tour, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a rail tour with the BR-103. And intercity coaches from Link-Rheinstrecke, which I haven't actually tried yet. Might do that in the future, who knows. Why are the ground textures like that? It's just such an eyesore, this route in the snow. Hopefully that'll get patched, because Dovetail Games has said that remasters will get post-release patches to, like, iron out the bugs. But the patch on this line would have to be huge in order to fix all this mess. And I'm not saying this to detract from what the developers have done. I'm a fan of the Koln Aachen route. I really do like it, but why is it so broken? Looks like we have some hot air balloons off to the left. In the middle of winter? That's daring. 5 kilometers to go. Do have a 120 limit coming up, and then a 100, and then a 70. So yeah, we are getting gradually slowed down as we head in towards Aachen Hauptbahnhof. Ooh, okay, expect some stuttering as all the stock here is loaded. There is a lot of stuff in this yard. Yeah, a lot of stuff in there. If you actually load this route up in September, you can actually see Thameslink Class 700 static stock there, because it's representing the time Thameslink were getting shipped their Class 700s, and because they were built in Siemens of Germany, they had to be shipped from Germany to the UK, so yeah. I do wish if we could have gotten an extension, I wish we could have gotten an extension to Brussels and gotten some Belgian trains, because that would have been very cool to get Belgian trains in this game. Alright, we do have to... Oh, no. Slow down to 85. Do have a... We're now under the influence of a 1000 Hertz magnet, PZB magnet. Okay, we're under the PZB speed restriction, that is good. Safe to release. Thank you kindly. Alright. Do have a blinking green. Knowledge. Do have 40 coming up as we get onto the viaduct. 700 meters to go. Here's the Aachen viaduct, which is decent. Like, the scenery around here is quite decent. Alright, so after this, the service will then continue on as AI off the map to Brussels. Alright. Oh, that's just the static locomotives that are there. There's a 101. You expert 101 or are you just a standard one? I can't honestly tell. They look so similar. It's probably the normal one, honestly. Do have to get down to 20 because we will be under the influence of a 500 Hz magnet, and I do not want that. Yeah, there we go. So, slow down, please. Why does the brake handle not make any noise? Interesting. Oh, that's going to be an overshoot. Bit of an overshoot, but we're fine. Still got within 10 meters, which is decent. Right, release the brake. There we go. Welcome to Aachen Hauptbahnhof after a very unusual trip through snowy Germany. Wait a minute. Only a gold medal? What? Okay. Normally, only losing 65 points would have meant I've got a platinum, but I'm just getting a gold? Oh, it's probably because it warned me earlier I didn't have Pisa B on, despite me actually having Pisa B on. Anyway, so that'll be all for this video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I do hope that I didn't annoy you too much with my constant ranting, but there we go. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.